Hey y'all, XR student here. Today I'm trying to customize a t-shirt. I had these linoleum rubber stamps lying around and I've been waiting to figure out what kind of project I wanted to do. And I decided to just jump into it because I had an extra t-shirt laying around. It took me a while to come up with a design, but I know my sons are pretty safe, so I sketched them on the rubber and cut them out so then it was more material for me to use in the future. I really like using the smallest tip for this cutting tool because I'm able to get all the details that's needed and really just make sure that I'm getting the shapes that I want. I wanted to come up with a few different mini designs so then I could put them around the t-shirts as like little intricate beadwork looking things, or just how with a lot of my drawings I add dots or lines. But the main part was the sun. Carving these pieces takes a while, but it's really peaceful doing it. I love just taking each little piece and seeing the creation that I want come to life. Doing a piece like this is also great for listening to an audiobook or a really good podcast story. In the future, I definitely want to practice more of these stamps, and I want to create cool designs that could go on my clothing eventually. When I'm making the stamps, I don't know if I'm necessarily doing it right by going in different directions, but I always loved how woodblock prints or other stamped prints have those lines left over from when you push down the stamp ink onto something and the residual gets on it. So I don't really mind that I go in different directions. It also makes it more interesting when I'm actually doing it. I really only go to the bigger tip when it comes to getting a larger body of the background gone. Like as if you're digging a hole, you want a big hole, get a bigger shovel. It really helps with the time invested into this piece, and also I don't have to worry about cutting out any small details because I'm getting rid of so much. And it's not close to anything tiny, so don't have to really care too much if it's a messy background or not. Again, I really like making these tiny little pieces just in case I want to add things to the sleeves or some kind of pattern, and I don't know, you never know when you'll need it in a future piece. I've seen some rubber stamp people who make t-shirts or shorts and they'll use the same swirl design or the same star design. So that was my goal, to hopefully have the stamp create a little bit longevity, but we'll see what happens. And now I'm opening up ink that's specifically made for silk printing or t-shirts. So I'm using my roller to spread it across so then I can easily apply it to all of my stamp pieces. And I decided to first test it out on a piece of paper to see if I actually liked what the design was and see if I needed to get rid of some of the background. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I had this yellow shirt. I didn't really like how yellow it was, and the only ink that I had at the time was red. So I decided to use some of my tie-dyeing stuff and try to play around, see what I could create, maybe make the yellow not so harsh. But again, this was all an experiment, so it could go horribly wrong. And I actually had this shirt prepared a few days earlier because I needed it to dry and wash out. So by the time you're seeing when the stamps are ready, I was able to put it on easily. And the red was kind of harsh and you couldn't really see it as much. Also, because the tie-dye wasn't perfect, I did get spots everywhere and the shirt was kind of long, and obviously it's wrinkly, so I wasn't too happy. I gave it a few days and I decided to add some black instead to put on top to maybe give a cool effect, like in some graphic arts or like fonts where they have two colors on top of each other, or like 3D art with two different designs. I mean, it was the same design, but I thought it would still look pretty cool. And when I was finally up to this point in the shirt, I really liked how the black was looking. The design was fun, and I decided to have more fun with the overall look. So I just kind of went crazy with the little elements and tried to experiment. And now that I've finished, let's look at those close-up shots. And that brings us to the end. I really liked how the t-shirt turned out, even though it's definitely not perfect. I like how it looks like it's handmade and a piece of art. If you liked my stuff, consider checking out my Etsy, subscribing, liking, commenting, whatever you feel like doing. Thank you so much. If you like this, come back next week. Thanks, bye!